welcome. So I'm Steven Erickson. I originally went without my middle name, but then I realized there's about a dozen other Scott Ericksons on the internet, and some of them even make music, so I decided to throw in my middle name there to be a little bit easier to search and everything. So anyways, this first song is pretty sentimental, and it's about missing missing loved ones who are far away, so it'd help if I switched keys at the last minute, so okay, now I know which key I'm in. This new hobby of sending out postcards from junk shops to faraway friends, old Saudi from yesteryear, corny jugs, cans of beer, and of course places I've never been. 'Cause space distresses me, money distresses me, when normally it wouldn't. And I know, well, it shouldn't, but it keeps me apart from the people I love. I could blame it on George Orwell's economy. I could gripe and complain, as I so often do. Instead I'll just deal and send out these postcards and hope that in time this small world will come true. 'Cause space distresses me, money distresses me, when normally it wouldn't. And I know, well, it shouldn't, but it keeps me apart from the people I love. Here I am at the edge of a new year, the edge of a new dream for all I've prepared. I don't know if it's loveless or I'll even survive it. I know close to nothing, still I am not scared. Except for space distresses me, money distresses me, when normally it wouldn't. And I know, well, it shouldn't, but it keeps me apart from the people I love. Well, I'm happy wherever I am, with every new setting content. And though happy I can be without my beloved cast, I do dearly miss them, and I hope it comes soon, that time when I'll see them again. Thank you. It's kind of appropriate that I have a song about postcards, because for my latest album, I decided to try out a new format of putting the cover on a postcard and then having a little link to where you can download it on the back. I'm always trying out new formats to try and keep up with the times, but I don't know if I'm succeeding or not. So now I'm going to play a cover song by an artist that... So I made a covers album in 2017, and I emailed one of the musicians on here and was surprised to get a personal response. And he was pretty flattered that I was covering his song. So it's Seattle by Jeffrey Lewis. survival is such a boring battle. Wanna get into my car, I wanna drive out to Seattle, where the used record stores have much better prices. But I don't have a car, and I don't have a license. Should I take another walk to the DMV? Get another learner's permit with a picture of me. I'd put it in my wallet along with my $4 and a cupcake that's still in there that is probably expired. I'd leave home for New York, but New York is where I'm from. I'm just looking for a way to feel my life has begun. Living in the city where I'm working like a walrus, man. But I don't need your money, man. I'm gonna be an artist, feeling like I ought to do whatever I feel inside. I put it down on paper and I'll hope that people buy it. My only minor worry is how to pay the rent, but that won't even matter when I lose my apartment. Then I'll really have no worries. I'll be just like a cassette. You've taped up the tabs up to put something new on it. And when I hit record, God only knows what I would be. And if there is no God, then it's a better mystery. Fighting for survival, and I guess I must be winning. But the story is so long I can't remember the beginning. Am I an optimist, or am I a pessimist? If I say half full, half empty cup is half full of nothingness. Dee 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 dee. Thank you.
Excuse me, bro, if you don't mind me asking you where you're from.
Actually from Olympia, about a less than a 10-minute drive here. Oh, or do you mean originally?
Yeah, originally.
Oh, from Wyoming. But I've lived in Olympia for almost 10 years now.
I was born in Ireland.
Oh, yeah? Okay, so I don't know if you can all see the my little tip jar here, but the last 2 times I've done performances, my accordion has had some embarrassing malfunctions in the middle of the set. So I'm hoping that's not going to happen tonight, but I thought if so, then my little sign here would be even more appropriate for my accordion repair fund. But so far it seems to be cooperating. So this next song is one I wrote back when I was in college and I was trying to save the world and stuff and just taking myself a little bit too seriously, and this is a little bit of self-reflection about that. I got so used to saying no, I forgot how to say yes. Once you've seen injustice, it's in your culture's every facet. I can't watch movies anymore without analysis, and my brain's been taken over by my inner conflict theorist, and I'm always on the alert for subtle prejudice, so I can't simply enjoy something in stone paralysis. 'Cause once you've woke up, you can't fall asleep. You'll see injustice in everything, but in the end it's worth it, for change has begun. Just don't get too depressed by the unrighteousness, and never forget to have fun. shopping mall, I'm the biggest party pooper. I'll get depressed watching consumers try to buy their happiness. And I'll search through all the clothing tags to see what was made in sweatshops. A game who finds the most third world countries in Abercrombie and Fitch. And I'll think how all this useless stuff will eventually land in landfills. And your chipper little shopping trip will be a doom and gloom abyss. Once you woke up, you can't fall asleep. You'll see injustice in everything, but in the end it's worth it, for change has begun. Just don't get too depressed by the unrighteousness, and never forget to have fun. Call me the recycling Nazi, I'm big on animal rights. I'm the first to point out the fact when a comment's heteronormative. I'll point out all the evil deeds of the U.S. and big business. I'll note when something exploits the poor or if a tweet is racist. Come to think, I tend to complain about a wide variety of things, but I'd like to think it's not just talk but affects the way I'm living. Up, you can't fall asleep, you'll see injustice in everything, but in the end it's worth it, for change has begun. Just don't get too depressed by the unrighteousness, and never forget to have fun. But you see, it's unhealthy to just say no and never really say yes. And it's hard to pull off that whole approach without seeming self-righteous. You're not gonna change too many folks' minds without a little more patience. So I'll just try to be a bit less gung-ho and less uptight, I guess. Thank you. So now I'm gonna switch instruments for a little bit. Is anyone here local to Olympia? Did you happen to catch the vaudeville show last October? I guess it's been going on for about 12 years now, and I was very honored to be a part of it this year. And I performed this next song, which was actually it was a poem written by my great-grandma in Thermopolis, Wyoming, and my mom and my grandma dug up a lot of old poetry because apparently a lot of my ancestors were poets, and this one really resonated with me and was pretty humorous too. And I've played it, and so I wrote music to it, and I've had a few friends tell me that it sounds like my songwriting. So I think there might be something genetic going on here because I never actually met this great grandma of mine. So. Seems that almost every day a politician comes my way. If he's elected, then it's his plan to save the country if he can. To save the country if he can. To save the country if he can. Promises them fellers make me suspect they're all a fake. I guess the thing for me to do is listen till them guys are through, then ask them if it's their belief, if there's a bill for tax relief, if there's a bill for tax relief, if there's a bill for tax relief. I smoke them candidates cigars when they ride up in fancy cars. They talk away an hour or more, and then I vote like I did before.
coolest guitar I've ever seen in my life. What is it?
It's a ukulele. And it's actually a travel-sized ukulele, which I always thought was kind of redundant because ukuleles are already pretty much travel-sized. But so now I'll play something a little bit less sarcastic.
No, you played quite well, bro.
Oh, thank you. This was a song I co-wrote with a band member. I was in a band back in South Dakota called Letters to Friends, and I wrote the words to the song, and he wrote the chords.
Ever heard of Lloyd Cole?
What's that?
Lloyd Cole, The Commotion?
Uh-uh.
Listen to him, he's quite good.
Does he do ukulele, or?
No, he just... My kids talked me into getting the cell phone finally after years and years of them bugging me, right?
Yeah.
Now all this music is popping up. I mean, I know music that you probably never heard. The Smiths,
Oh, yeah.
The Smiths, The Cure. I used to go all alternative, right? But I never heard of Lloyd Cole. And have you ever heard of a band called Pulp?
Uh-uh.
Pull them up. They're quite terrific.
Pulp, like orange juice pulp? I'll have to give them a listen.
Good.
Thank you. So yeah, this song, it's a song about like kind of how.
Old man from New York, can you do that on that ukulele?
Which one?
Old man, look at my life, I'm a lot like you.
No, sorry.
You never heard of it?
No.
He's quite good. We're all up down here trying to have fun.
Call me old-fashioned, but I miss the days of folks on their front porches. Could enjoy each other's company till the neighbors open wide. Before everyone retreated to private decks in their backyards. That is on those rare occasions when they'd actually go outside. Call me old-fashioned, but I miss the days of lovingly cooked dinners. When community was shared around the enjoyment of good food. Before instant meals and microwaves wolfed down in front of TVs. Food bereft of nutrients, sense of community subdued. Tell me what is happening to communication. What is happening to community? What is happening to community? Call me old-fashioned, but I miss the days of human interaction. And by human interaction, I mean good old face-to-face. For a conversation separated in both emotions and cyberspace. Tell me what is happening to communication. What is happening to community? What is happening to community? Well, I guess I am old-fashioned because I like corporeal people. I prefer them to these abstract avatars on screens. But I guess in that regard, I'm of a shrinking minority. Thank you. And actually, I was with that band when I first came out here for the first time and really fell in love with the area. And my friend Savannah here and I decided to move out here after drinking water from the artesian well. So yep. Okay, so here's another older song from around that same time. It's inspired by kind of not really fitting into the music scene, or I think I fit in more than I realized, but I sometimes felt self-conscious about it. So the song's called "I'm Not Hardcore," if I can enunciate. I'm really nothing special when it comes to games like Scrabble, but I can sometimes dominate at Trivial Pursuit, even though I'm often written off as unintelligent, and my input's often written off as naive, slow, or cute. But I am not naive, I'm just an optimist. I can fully comprehend what a cupcake world this is. Because of this, you might presume I simply just don't get it. But I do go far beyond your perception of dim-witted. I just try to look beyond the gloom to find what makes life worth living. I often patch my clothes to make them more functional, but I sometimes patch them just to make them look more snazzy. But overall, I hate to waste, hence I reuse my clothes. I don't do it to fit a scene or just to strike a pose. But I am not hardcore, I just try to be myself. It's inevitable along the way I'll look like someone else. Because of this, you might presume I pretend to be somebody, but there's so many folks upon this world, our identities get muddy. So I just behave the closest to the ways that make me happy. I really had it out for technology at this time, as you'll see from this next verse. I have a new laptop, and I've seen what androids we've become. Everything's electronic now, our cupcakes and our friendships. No need for face-to-face friendship because we've got the net. Our entire lives are simplified to a photo and some text. But I am not my profile, it's just an effigy, depicting the most brief cliff notes of the story of my life. Because of this, you might presume this flashy screen is me, when really it's just a snapshot of the point where I've arrived. The complexity of my whole life, now condensed to simply 2D. I've made these neat little categories to define myself. Artist, atheist, independent, a cupcake, white male, gay. And the world wants so much clarity to ones I belong. As long as it's known what I am, it doesn't matter what I say. But I'm not my identity, I'm too ambivalent. My soul cannot be limited to symbolic dull compartments of each these things you might presume I'm the equivalent. But humans can't be subdivided to easy, quick departments. Our identity's no more a part of us than our clothes or our apartments. So come with me, our limitations slowly melt away, till it's just us, no facades, no fronts, and sweet ambivalence is where we'll stay.
Oh yeah, baby! Oh!
So you might be wondering about why I keep singing about cupcakes, and that's kind of a running joke that I have now because when I performed at the downtown Olympia Arts Walk a few years back, it was at a cupcake shop, and they told me that I needed to keep it family friendly, so I just substituted any profanity with the word cupcakes. And so now, and I was told that this should be kept family friendly too. So so anytime I do a family friendly show, I do the cupcake method again. So okay. Okay, so now I'm going to upgrade to a baritone ukulele. Maybe I'll try and scoot it back. I'm not sure which knobs do what over there. So, is that a little bit better? I'm gonna really change the mood and play some really depressing songs. For 24 hours, you lived as someone else. Your questionable choices affecting only yourself. Seeing what it's like to live with robots and deluxe toilet paper, upper middle class luxuries, like being suspended in skydiving chambers to transcend your life of stark disappointments and picking up slack for a temporary fantasy of having a husband who will have your back through financial security, the safety net of joint checking accounts as you pursue your artistry. He supports you to achieve what you're truly about. So you let your guard down and acted somewhat rash, mainly concerning the feats you accomplished while on your back. Seduced by status and novel encounters, not to mention a stunning physique. The heat of the moment repelled better judgment of any cautionary technique. So now you're back to your life, practical obligations and promises kept when you weren't mystified by romantic delusions which left you bereft. So now you've got to decide between penniless sitar players on whom you've relied, or on the other hand, the Maharajah's fantasy, which might just turn out to be nothing but a lie.
Yeah, bro.
So here's another depressing one, but a little bit more funny.
Well, you're impressing me already, man. Quite good.
Well, thank you. So this one is probably the most country-sounding song I've written, and I suppose that's fitting that it's a breakup song.
You're like Neil Young with a guitar and a fucking harmonica.
Wow, thank you. So this song, I couldn't think of a title for it for the longest time that didn't sound cliche.
What do you got for it?
Well, I eventually came across a title that Sarah Shea.
Give us a title, bro.
So she suggested that I title it "Even This Title Was a Sad Cliche." So
Spit it out, man.
no, that's it. Even this title is a sad cliche is the title. I keep writing songs to make our relationship seem much worse than it was, as a way to justify getting dumped. But now I'm struggling to believe these cupcakes that I'm making up. Better internalize it, or at least disguise it and hide this vestigial love. 'Cause I'll resort to platitudes in cases when they are true. And in this case, the sad cliche remains that I'm still in love with you. You canceled our shared cards and comics discount card and gave me half, though I'd put in less. It seemed like a gesture to make me feel better, but it just made me feel even guiltier at best. Especially the next time I picked up my saga and Gabby asked for our card. This tedious maintenance on every acquaintance is part of what makes breakups so hard. But I'll resort to platitudes in cases when they are true. And in this case, the sad cliche remains that I'm still in love with you. So I noticed our fractured connection and tried to repair it. Bought a case of cheap wine, brought it home where I figured I'd share it. But tragedy struck, putting the bottles on the shelf. I bumped your cow knick-knack, which caused it to fall. Broke off its legs, said I'd fix it with glue. Hope you don't think it's a metaphor about me and you. Though it's hard to deny, in many ways it was pretty symbolic. Which might explain why lately I've been melancholic. But I'll resort to platitudes in cases when they are true. And in this case, the sad cliche remains that I'm still in love with you. I'm still in love with you. I'm still in love with you.
You know what that song was, bro? Capital N-O-N-E-Y money. That's what I tell my buddies when I hit a whack golf ball a mile. I said, you see what that shot was, bro? That was money. Or then I go, oh, that was gold. They got tired of me saying it was money shot. So they had to change it and say, watch this. So, watch this golf ball about 75 yards.
This one might be the most depressing song yet. Emily Dickinson's artistry was limited to her private life. Like Van Gogh, only posthumously did their masterful creations thrive. The tragedy of the artist always left doubting if my verse is alive. Vivian Meyer remained undiscovered as her prerogative. 2 years before death, she couldn't pay rent, so they auctioned off her negatives. Recognition clearly wasn't her motive for creating so much beauty as she did. I'm not really the type to pursue fame and glory, but I don't want to end up another tragic allegory. Another artist struggling or resigning to an existence either weary or boring. How do I find a way to survive without selling out? To just earn an honest living, doing what I'm so impassioned about. I'm always at the crossroads of deciding whether to give up on my dreams, on my artistry, sign out, and then lead a quiet life behind a desk, comforting myself, you did your best, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough.
You remind me so much of Neil Young when he was playing the guitar and guitar.
Thanks.
Neil and the Damage Done.
So the hidden agenda behind that song's to get you to feel guilty about buying my CDs. Just kidding. No, I've kind of taken the Amanda.
Oh, you're quite good.
Thank you. I've kind of taken the Amanda Palmer approach to music selling. What's that? Oh no, I don't know if I'd ever sign a record deal after seeing so many artists get screwed over in the 90s and 2000s. I mean, maybe it'd depend on the record label, but I doubt he would actually want to sign me anyway, so. Thank you. But yeah, Amanda Palmer has an approach where you pay what you want. And what's that? But I think you asked about that one already. Anyways, I don't really name a price for my music or anything. I just tell people to pay what they want. Even if you can't afford to buy a CD, I would rather you have one and enjoy it than to not get one because you feel guilty about not being able to buy one. So. punishment of happiness, those later feelings of regret, obliviousness at the time towards seeing that your life was fine. So now your current circumstance seems inferior to the past. Those better days were wasted on the fool whose joy has been forgone. To think the secret lies within the balance of reaching for the stars and gratitude, feeling that this is enough, conversely never giving up on pursuing if I can remember my own words, the punishment of desire, to realize that you're a liar when you say this is enough, but desperation calls your bluff. Fantasies of the ideal unlikely ever become real. To see your passions unfulfilled, mediocrity distilled. To think the secret lies within the balance of reaching for the stars and keeping one foot on the ground, feeling that this is enough, conversely never giving up on pursuing a life full of meaning. There's the line I forgot. The punishment of gratitude, those ambitions have been subdued. The punishment of compassion, self-defeating inaction. The punishment of aptitude, responsibilities accrued. The punishment of virtue, bound to only speak the truth. The punishment of desire, to realize that you're a liar. The punishment of happiness, those later feelings of regret. To think the secret lies within the balance of reaching for the stars and keeping one foot on the ground, feeling that this is enough, conversely never giving up on pursuing a life full of meaning, or at least one worth redeeming. Sorry. Gotta work on your timing, I guess.
Time that wrong. I should have been up there sooner.
Let's.
You're so perfect.
I'm just gonna check the time. Okay.
You got enough time?
Yep, got about 15 more minutes.
I don't know how much time I got, bro. I'm 60 years old. How much time do I got left? Let's go.
Would life be better or worse if we were able to know, do you think?
Now, play something from my wife Kyle that died of cancer 2.5 years ago.
I'm sorry to hear that. Well, this is a sentimental song I wrote for a friend's going away party.
Well, her name was Kyle.
Kyle's.
Throw it in there somewhere in this song.
So Kyle's?
Kyle, K-Y-L-E.
Kyle? Okay. And well, actually, I think this song will be perfect for that. So. You say end of a coma, but I say end of a chapter, at least for everyone here who's been graced with your laughter. I hope you know you'll be missed, Kyle. Lupe, you once told me Olympia is the worst place that you've been. As far as people making a huge deal about the pigment of your skin, it's ironic in a place boasting to be about breaking down systems of oppression. Their demographics is the popular obsession, but you see your friends foremost as people, and not by the ways they're identified, because everyone is equal to your non-judgmental eyes. I hope you know you'll be missed, Kyle. You'll be missed for your awesome cupcakes. You'll be missed for your hospitality. You'll be missed for your ability to make each birthday a special formality. You'll be missed as a yoga princess. You'll be missed as a superhero. You'll be missed for all the times you babysat Kai Scarlet and Bandito. I hope you know you'll be missed, Kyle. They say end of a coma, but I say end of a chapter. At least for everyone here who's been graced with your laughter. I hope you know you'll be missed, Lupe. I hope you know you'll be missed, Lupe. I hope you know you'll be missed, Kyle. I hope you know you'll be missed, Lupe.
It's all about having fun. Shit.
Okay, so now after that really positive tribute song, now I'm going to play probably the meanest song that I've ever written about someone. This was about some people who were taking advantage of a good friend of mine's generosity. You hate the bourgeoisie cause it reminds you where you're from. You hate the proletariat cause it makes you look dumb. Instead of fighting a class war, you're sitting eating cupcakes. Well, you get lazier and vicious. 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 You'll pinpoint every detail of each activist group's flaws, which you use as your excuse for never fighting for a cause. You're even more judgmental of those who are employed, while you exploit their hospitality, get confused if they're annoyed. You say, if they really wanted to, they could give me the boot, but your excess gamer lifestyle in the streets do not compute. You're in denial of your privilege, for you know that you'd be shunned if your hypocrisy was revealed through Hefty Trust Fund. 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 Instead you play it off as though you come from rags and dimes and ignore the same scenario you've caused a dozen times. Where your host becomes so fed up with your cupcakes that they take flight, but you still remain oblivious. You're just a parasite, just a parasite, just a parasite, just a parasite, just a parasite. You're just a parasite, just a parasite, just a parasite, just a parasite. You're just a parasite, just a parasite, just a parasite, just a parasite. You're just a parasite, just a parasite, just a parasite. You're just a parasite.
Go figures. Well, we're having fun, right?
So how?
You guys are sitting there laughing. My sorry old ass.
Just can't motivate anyone else to dance with you? Jeez,
Outside,
come on, you
bro.
guys.
And then I work a couple of months ago, and finally, the owner of my company, she's about 6'3", right? She's way taller than me. She comes up and taps, because I'm out there dancing by myself, right? She comes and taps me on the shoulder, and I'm swinging. This was very
Thank you. So I think this is the last one I had planned. I've got a few CDs and random stuff over there if anyone's interested. Got my accordion repair fund here. What's that? Thank you. Well, you guys have been a terrific audience. So yeah, this song.
I got one more left in me.
Okay, so I'm Scott Steven Erickson, and
I gotta get
this was another song that I played with my band back in South Dakota called Letters to Friends. And I promise I wrote this 10 years ago, and even though some of the lyrics have a lot more significance now with current events, but this was actually written in the Bush years. Accordion stand's falling down. Let me try and screw this a little tighter.
It's kind of a first little problem, bro.
Maybe I'll have to like bite it or something.
Come on.
Zones out of dollar signs and imaginary lines. Then they wrap the whole thing up in old barbed wire. Then they take a no trespassing sign and staple it on top, prosecuting anyone who tries to enter. This house is full of boundaries without much form of diplomacy. This house is full of enemies with no reason to be hostile. Take me away. Take me away. Take me away. Take me away. 'Cause they're just so afraid of living. They built their comfort zones out of dollar signs and imaginary lines. Then they erected giant walls to keep each other out. Then they called themselves countries, and all the rest were aliens, prone to get zapped if they tried to get in. This country has some rooms without much room for diplomacy. This country has some enemies with some reason to be hostile. Take me away. Take me away. Take me away. Take me away. 'Cause they're just so afraid of living. Deconstructed my comfort zones, no more dollar signs or lines. And I welcome anyone since I've no need for boundaries. And I welcome all the challenges I can find for myself. It keeps me alive, keeps me alive. I can do so much more than just survive. It keeps me alive, keeps me alive. So take me to Siam, take me to Canaan, take me away to Czechoslovakia, to the USSR. Take me away to any kind of place that can give me hope for change. Take me away, take me away, yeah. Take me away, take me away, yeah. But there will always be pheasants who can fly across borders. There will always be pheasants who've no need for passports. There will always be pheasants who can fly across borders. There will always be pheasants who've no need for cupcake passports. There will always be pheasants. 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 But there will always be pheasants. Thank you very much.